All right, guys, welcome to the show, man. Your boy Donovan Sharpe and Steve the Dean Williams here. We here to talk to y'all guys. Y'all got the number. This is the Redline Show, and this is being brought to you by Tactical Soap. Guys, make sure you get your Tactical Soap. Also, it is also being brought to you by Tate's War Room. That is Tate's War Room. And last but not least, the Fraternity of Excellence joined the online brotherhood of exceptional men. Donovan, what's up? You got it, fam.
Not too much, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good. Yeah, so what we're going to be talking about tonight, guys, is setting boundaries for your woman. Why it's important to establish boundaries. Now, this is I actually have an entire section on this in my 7-hour course, How to Build a Quality Woman from the Ground Up. And so this is more or less going to be, I don't want to call it an outline. I don't want to say it's a review, but I've got the notes right here in front of me. And it's good that I actually have Steve the Dean on with me here tonight, because I always like to get other perspectives in the way of my own opinion. The reason why Steve and I, the reason why we're really good when we do these things together is because we don't always agree on everything. There's some things that we're in lockstep with, some things we fundamentally disagree on, but at the end of the day, we both we respect each other's opinions.
Yes.
And we respect each other's opinions, well enough to be respectful, et cetera, et cetera. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, and again, guys, if you want to call in, 914-205-5356. Again, that's 914-205-5356. That's the number to call if you want to get in on the show. So the reason, first off, let's talk about why it's important to set boundaries. Number one, it sets the tone for the relationship. A woman without boundaries, gentlemen, is going to be a woman who's going to walk all over you. Okay. And the reason this is important is because women cannot be left to their own devices. Their default programming is to self-destruct and to take everyone with them in the process. This is the trade-off for having endless options as far as dating and relationships go for women. This is why women, more or less, have been kept under control for so long. But when feminism happened, it allowed women enough freedom to completely fuck everything up. Marriage, relationships, the culture, everything. If you do not set boundaries for your woman, she will not respect you, period. Okay? Women might not like it at first when you start to set boundaries, but they do respect them. Women don't like a lot of things that they respect, but they still respect them. Now, the reason why some women may scoff or sort of blanch when a guy actually puts his foot down and says, hey, listen, if you want to be in a relationship with me, then XYZ isn't allowed, is because boundaries make it much more difficult for a woman to misbehave or cheat or to set up cheating. Make no mistake, gentlemen. Here's what you have to understand. She will object to texting her ex. She will object to deleting all of her online dating profiles. She will object to not being allowed to go out with her friends to bars and clubs on weekend. Now, obviously, women engage in these behaviors for many reasons, but the main reason is because she wants to be able to branch swing on the off chance that she decides that she becomes too bored with you. Now, I've discussed before, when you are setting boundaries, you almost do this hypothetically. You don't tell her, if you are going to be with me, then you are not allowed to XYZ. This is why I say never angle for a relationship with a woman first. You always wait for her to ask you, and then you let her know what you will or will not tolerate. Okay?
Right.
But at the end of the day, if she wants to be with you, then this is what needs to be done. If she decides not to, that's fine. Okay? You can continue just being fuck buddies. No skin off your back, no harm, no foul. Again, you're not putting a gun to anyone's head here, guys. Right. All you're doing is informing her that her actions have consequences, both good and bad. Which consequence she wants is totally up to her. Now, I want to get your opinion on this, Steve. By the same token, if she really is into you and she respects you, she will adhere to your boundaries, even if she pushes back a little. And don't be alarmed if she pushes back, guys. This is a natural response. Today's women aren't used to men setting boundaries or showing them that they won't tolerate certain behaviors. But if she really likes you, she will get over those initial feelings of hesitation and respect you for having the balls to display masculinity on a level she's not used to but she likes a lot. We say women are overgrown children, right? And that's 100% correct.
Right.
And like children, women want and need structure. They want and need discipline. Children respect discipline. They might not like it and they might throw a fit, but they respect it, and eventually they will grow to like it and love it. What's the same with women?
Right.
Steve,
right.
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing is, guys, when it comes to boundaries out there, the thing that's important is a boundary isn't anything if it's not backed up by a real man.
Right.
And I think what's happening is that you cannot set a boundary with a woman if your pussy is tighter than hers, because she is not going to respect the boundary, nor is she going to respect you. I've always told guys, Donovan, that it's odd that a lot of men have issues and problems with their women or wives or girlfriends, but they can go to the job and they won't disrespect the CEO. They won't disrespect the president or the managers. And I always ask why, Donovan. And the why is because, see, the thing is, and this is very important for this show, is that she needs to know what you are. And that's the thing. When she goes to the job, Donovan, the job has the legacy statement, the vision statement, the mission statement. It has the principles. It has the laws. It has the rules and the codes of what you have to do to work for the company. And if you go against any of these things, yes, you will get a warning or written up. But if that persists to happen, you'll get fired. But what happens with a lot of these guys, because they don't have boundaries, because they're thirsty, needy, desperate, insecure, don't know how to stand up as a fucking man sometimes, Donovan, women will walk over them because women don't respect, and I say it again, I will stand on this. They will never respect a man whose pussy is tighter than hers. Case in point, brother.
That's actually a very good analogy. A lot of men always wonder, they always ask, and they ask guys like you and me, Donovan, my girl isn't listening. Donovan, my girl did this. Donovan, my girl did that, et cetera, et cetera. Setting boundaries is part of that reason. The other reason is the reason that Steve just pointed out. The reason why your girl stays out of pocket is because your pussy is tighter than hers. In other words, you're not grabbing your balls and doing what the fuck needs to be done, saying what the fuck needs to be said, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. Now, something else to understand here, Stephen, and again, it's good that I have you on because I think you and I are in lockstep in a lot of these, but I think there are some points where you and I probably disagree on. And that doesn't mean that neither you are right nor wrong. I just think we just add different dimensions to each other. In my estimation, setting boundaries isn't a one size fits all, right? It depends. Setting boundaries really depends upon the girl, the situation, your value, your frame, your delivery, the time. There's so many mitigating factors that it is impossible to go over each and every circumstance one by one. This is why it's important to take your time at this stage and really get to know her so that when you do start setting boundaries, you know who you're dealing with and how to proceed accordingly. Different girls respond in different ways to different men. This is just how it is.
Right.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. And again, I'm on the other side of the street, and this is what I say. Okay. I believe before you even get in a relationship, you should know what your boundaries are for a relationship.
Bingo.
Now, when a woman comes into your relationship, now I always say women are like music, Donovan. You have classical, hip hop. I mean, all women are different. You know, classical, hip hop, alternative, blues, jazz. You know, they're like music, but you can make adjustments to the boundaries when you're dealing with someone. I agree. Okay. Well, what you're saying, I agree with you as far as when you're with the woman. But what I feel like is before you get with the woman, you've got to have certain non-negotiable boundaries as far as
right.
I'm not putting any love into this.
Right.
She's got to be worth my time. She's got to show me she's worth my attention. And then she's got to show me that she's worth my respect. And on top of that, Donovan, I a boundary. I'm drama free. Don't bring any drama into my life. And I think that can go with any kind of woman, because if you cannot stand on your name. And you know, we know what Donovan Sharpe is. And a woman, well, your woman, excuse me, I'm not gonna say a woman because you have a woman.
Right.
Your woman knows what she got into when she met Donovan Sharpe. She knew Donovan Sharpe was not a grass-eating lion who was going to bend over backwards, compromise, and give his balls away.
Right.
Those are what I call ironclad things. But in order to do that, Donovan, I feel that every man should go in and know what he expects of a relationship. Because, Donovan,
yes,
every phase of relationships are different. And I think that's where a lot of guys go wrong. There, every phase, the meeting and dating phase, I'm sorry?
Keep it going. I got somebody.
Okay, no problem. You have the meeting and dating, guys. You have the meeting and dating phase. In that phase, what is meeting a woman and what is dating a woman to you? And what are your laws, your rules, codes, and boundaries of meeting and dating a woman? What is your laws, rules, and codes for a relationship, which shouldn't be the same as you're dating and meeting a woman? What are your laws, rules, and codes as far as living with a woman when you move her in or when you engage? And I think, Donovan, the problem is, and you're right, there should always be adjustments while you're with the woman to adjust to the person you're dealing with. Right. But I feel that before they get into a relationship, they should have a certain kind of standard for themselves that they expect the woman to abide by to even get their time, sir.
You know, it's interesting that you say that. A lot of men don't know how to set boundaries because they don't know what their boundaries are, right? It's almost like, well, I don't know what and they subconsciously think about this. Well, I don't know what my boundaries are, but I'll know it when I see it. Well, guess what? If a woman gets out of pocket and then you try to set that boundary, if you didn't nip it in the bud the first time, it's already too late.
Right.
Okay? You have to know, and again, it's not like anybody has to tell you what's allowed and what's not. You know the things that a woman gets up to that threaten the integrity of your relationship. It would be incumbent upon you to eliminate the behaviors that threaten your relationship. If you're looking for a qualifier, if you're looking for a rule of thumb, what kind of boundaries should I set for my woman? If it threatens the integrity of your relationship, that's a boundary that you need to set.
Wow.
Your thoughts?
Donovan, you're absolutely right. But I think some of the issues with a lot of these young men are this, Donovan. They set what is called false boundaries. And a false boundary is telling themselves, okay, well, this is what I want from a woman. Or this is, I want sex from her. Or this is what I want. But as soon as they meet the woman, everything they think and want to set for themselves goes out of the window because of their fears of the woman.
Right.
And I think that's what's happened to a lot of guys. So when they get into the relationship, that's why the woman is always running the relationship, because what she's doing is dangling the pussy or her time in their faces when she realizes their boundaries are made of hay and wood, huff and puff, you know what I mean? So, and this is what's important. Like I say, what you're saying is absolutely right. I agree when you're in there, but these guys have to have ironclad boundaries for their names, their last name, what they stand for, and what they should expect from the woman, brother.
I could not have said that any better. So, again, 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you have a question, comment, whatever the case may be. So there are two main ways, in my estimation, there are two main ways to set boundaries as far as Donovan Sharpe is concerned. Steve can, I guess Steve can add to this.
Yes.
If he has any. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Okay. Why can't I have male friends? Well, you can have male friends. And let me explain what I mean by that. So verbally, okay? Here's how here's the two ways that you set boundaries are verbally and non-verbally. So for example, if she's on her phone during a date, you say, "Put that away for me, would you?" That is verbal, okay? What are you going to do if I don't? If she says that, you get up and leave. Okay? That's how that works. "Put that away for me, would you?" "You're not my father. Check, please," and then get the fuck up out of here. Non-verbally, That's the second way. The second way to set boundaries is non-verbally. So for example, if you guys agreed to meet up at 7 and she's late, but she didn't give you a heads up beforehand, leave the venue and go dark for 24 hours. Okay. This shows her that you will not tolerate her wasting your time without saying a word. And trust me when I tell you, she'll get the message. Listen, everybody runs late. Nobody can be on time all the time. But if she doesn't respect you enough to give you a heads up, hey, you know, my hair is still a little bit damp. I'm trying to curl it and trying to look good for you. I'm running a little bit late. I'm going to be 15 minutes late. Totally cool. But if she shows up late with no warning, no nothing, she doesn't respect your time. Here's something else. If a lot of guys say, now a lot of guys would probably ask me this, but Donovan, what if she just says fuck it and never calls you again? Well, number one, she didn't like you that much to begin with. And number two, a woman who doesn't respect your time does not respect you. Understand this, guys. If a woman responds negatively to you establishing boundaries, and again, this is assuming you're a high-value male, guys, move on to the next girl. Okay? There are too many girls out there who are waiting for a man to take charge and give them boundaries to be dealing with a hard-headed bitch who's out here looking to prove that they're strong and independent, who will not be controlled by a man. Dude, next that hoe and move on. She does not deserve you. With most, now I'll say this as this last thing. With most women, you have to use a variation of both, not verbally and non-verbally, depending upon, you know, any number of factors. Your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah. See, I always try to tell guys the importance of what is called not having high tolerance, not having low tolerance, but have no tolerance.
Yes.
Meaning that, like you said, it's one thing if you're late and you call me because you respect me, and I'm fine with that. You know, people are late, Donovan. But if you come late without a phone call, as a man, I have to correct that behavior, just like a boss would correct an employee when they come in late.
Right.
You know, listen, you know, how you doing? Give her a hug, tell her how sexy she is, sit her down, but say, listen, next time you're late, you call me. Right. And that's it. And leave it at that. I'm not here to argue, but I'm just here to tell you what is and not what could be. Because if we have a problem, like you said, Donovan, I'm just getting up and leaving. I don't need you as much as you need me.
Right.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of guys, because they go in talking to women walking on eggshells, Donovan. They allow these women to come in with such disrespectful manners, and they're like, well, I'd rather have half a bitch than nobody at all. So I'm gonna let that slide, which you're training her at that point. I'm gonna let it slide, and I'm not gonna say anything because, you know, I maybe have never had a date in a long time. It's been weeks and months, and this is my first time, and I don't want to mess it up. But the important thing here is that I have no tolerance. You can be late, but you better respect me enough to call me. And if you don't, I'm throwing you back in the water.
Here's an interesting comment. I can't even pronounce the name because there's a bunch of numbers in there. He says, a good, respectful girl will always pay if she shows up late to a date.
No.
I can't. Listen, I've never experienced that before. My guess is that he says this is why I date exclusively Asian women not raised in America. I don't know that I agree with that.
No.
Listen, if you want the girl to pay if she shows up late, that's fine. That doesn't really sound that. I don't know. It doesn't really sound like something. Listen, if that's what you want to do, if that's your cup of tea, more power to you. But I'm not into, okay, well, since you're late, now you have to pay for the date. American women aren't, they're not going to deal with that. And if you're not going to deal with American women, then don't date American women. But
real quick on that comment, Donovan, that's the problem with a lot of guys. This is what I'm talking about. That when they get around a bunch of men, they want to portray they're a lion.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to be a lion.
Yep.
And that guy that posted that, the reason I'm calling bullshit on that is because people don't really do that. People don't say, oh, I'm late, and because I'm late, I'm going to pay. That's not the real world.
Sure.
The real world doesn't work that way, Donovan. So when people say things like that, they just want someone to notice what they're saying.
Yeah, I think that's you know what, I would agree. I'm trying to be respectful, but the guy that put that in the chat, has that ever happened to you? If it has, give me a call. 911-205-5356. Listen, we could be wrong. I'm absolutely. The thing is I'm not going to say, oh, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf, but listen, I recently had my mind changed about MGTOWs. I suppose.
Well, you had your mind. Oh, dude.
Well, again, I found out that MGTOWs were not who I thought they were. Right. And
what do you mean by that?
That is a very, very long conversation that we.
Yeah. Is someone holding you hostage right now? Do I need to call the police?
No one's holding me hostage. Okay. What I figured out is that the loudest and most, how can I put, the loudest and most belligerent men who call themselves MGTOWs aren't really MGTOWs. What these guys are is what I like to call scabs. Guys who aren't really interested in working hard. Guys who just want to sit around and bitch.
Grassy lines.
Right. Well, there you go. That's exactly right. Well, I was on a MGTOW show the other day, actually a couple of weeks ago with Coach Greg Adams, who identifies as a MGTOW. The guy's a solid dude. He works out. He's got his own business. He's, spreading the red pill truth. And that, anyway, I don't want to get off track, but
yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, Doug. Go ahead.
But I think we're good to go there.
Yeah.
Here's a comment by Tex-Mex Barbecue. Says, when you allow her to jerk you around endlessly, she is training you. What are your thoughts on that?
When you allow her to jerk you, well, but okay, this is the problem. See, Donovan, in that sentence is the problem. The word endlessly. What do you mean endlessly? That's telling me that you are allowing the behavior. You see what I'm saying, Donovan? See,
I think he's probably just giving an example, but yeah, I mean,
right. There's no, as a man, there's no such thing as endlessly. It is you're jerking me around one time, and that's the last time you're going to be jerking me around.
Hang on a second, Steve. I got somebody in the chat who doesn't think I know my sports history. So El Macho, I actually said this the other day when I was talking about this. He says, scab, a pejorative term for a person who works despite strike action or against the will of employees. Wiki. Listen, the reason I call them scabs is because it sounds gross. Men, grass-eating lions are gross. Men who don't want to work hard are gross. Listen, I watched the ESPN. Listen, I know all about the year of the scab with the Washington Redskins back in 1990. I know what they called them. I know. Listen, El Macho, listen, I appreciate the lesson, but I already knew what a scab was, right? When I talk about scabs as they do not pertain to MGTOWs, I'm not talking about a pejorative term for a person. No, I'm not talking about people that are on strike workers. I wanted to think of the most derogatory, nasty name that I wanted to call men who just aren't interested in working hard for what they want. Men who sit around and bitch and moan and expect women to just throw themselves at them just because they have a Y chromosome and a cock and balls. So while I do appreciate the educational lesson, I saw it the other day. It's all good. I'm still going to continue calling them scabs.
Well,
continue, please, Steve.
Yeah, I want to say something on this message right here. Oh God, you got these MGTOWs in here.
No. Listen.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I just want to.
I don't have anything against MGTOW. Right. I have things against.
I do. I've got a huge thing against.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I have a huge thing against because that's not a man to me. But anyway, this right here, this is what. Okay, I've been dating for 20 years or so. Honestly, it was never worth the trouble. So I'm taking a break for a while. So this is the problem. A lion never stops being a lion. A man doesn't take his ball and go home. The problem was that you have been getting used for 20 years because when she met you, she realized you didn't have a standard, you didn't have any balls, and you were bleeding from your legs. And be real about it. And again, this is not about me being mean, but I'm so tired of you guys want to talk like you're men, but all you do is like women is make excuses. Women make excuses. Women blame. Women point the finger. Look, 20 years, then you know something? If it's been 20 years, a little common sense might say, well, maybe I'm the problem and not women if I've been doing the same thing for 20 years and getting the same results, Donovan. But I'm sorry. I know we were talking about which calls, but I just wanted to comment on that. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah, apparently the guy who talked about the girl paying for the date if she's late, he says the real world works this way. Yes, it happened to me on many occasions. I'm an MD and highly masculine. It was a shock that this girl didn't offer to pay after 20 minutes late. Listen, I mean, do you want a cookie?
Wait, Donovan, what is you being an M? This is what I understand about you guys. You always tell us the story by what you say.
Right. Right. Like there's no way to listen. There's no way to verify this. I don't know if, and again, if this happened to you in a country other than America, I can't sit here and tell you whether you're telling the truth or not. But I know this. If you are who you say you are, and you experienced and you're telling us that girls who are late for dates paid for them here in the United States and America, you're full of shit. And if you really were an MD who was highly masculine, you wouldn't be home on a Friday night listening to a couple of chuckleheads talk about women.
No, Donovan. Donovan. I disagree. He's right. You want me to tell you why? I'm going to tell you why he's right. He said it in his comment. He's an MD. And any man that tries to use his medical, I'm a doctor. You know what a woman's going to do? Okay. I'll pay for your
leading with
I'll pay for the date because I know you can't stand on your principles as a man. So I'm gonna get you on the back end. What does a drug dealer always say? The first hit
time is always free.
Yeah, I'll get you on the back end. So if the fact that you said you're an MD tells me automatically that if you took that title away from you, you wouldn't have nothing to stand on. Because a man doesn't stand on titles. He stands on the game that's inside of him and not on him. Go ahead, Donovan.
Yeah, apparently he lives in South Korea, previously Hawaii. I've lived in Hawaii twice myself, but I was underage. Obviously I'm a military brat. Not really sure why why someone who lives in South Korea would come in and talk. And again, I don't want there to be any misunderstandings. I guess we're talking strictly about American women, as most, I don't know, I would assume if you live in the United States of America or the UK or Australia, push 1 in the chat, right? Because again, if a man lives in South Korea and is surrounded by all of these, beautiful feminine women, I don't understand what he would be doing here in the chat talking about women that clearly don't apply to the women he's experienced with.
What Donovan, the truth is that a lot of guys always think they can go and run away from the problem, which is them. Y'all don't understand women. Women can smell weakness. Women can smell your pussy being tighter than hers. It doesn't matter if you go to the island of Zamunda, Mars, or Jupiter. As soon as you open your mouth, she's going to realize you are weak, and that's what y'all got to stop lying to yourselves. And the only way she's either paying for your meal is that she sees money in you, where she's going to sucker you for your money and get something out the back end, Donovan.
I love the adversarial turn this has taken. I really enjoy this. The guy says, you guys assume way too much. Well, you might be right. But what I can tell you is that anybody who comes in here and talks about their titles, I'm a medical doctor and I'm highly masculine. You don't listen. If that's who and what you are, you don't have to verbally announce it to the world. If I have a big cock, I'm not going to say I've got a 43-inch cock. I'm going to let a girl see my dick. So listen, I'm glad you're telling us that you're a medical doctor, and I'm glad that you're highly masculine. But what you're saying in the chat and what the circumstances are not matching up. On that assumption, I can only imagine that you're either A, just in here to complain about American women not having lived in America anymore, or B, you're just full of shit. So again, that this is just how it is. He said, sorry, I didn't know I wasn't allowed to talk about real feminine women not from the US. Women are the worst, and I don't see why guys still date them. So now you're acting, well, no, hold on, Steve. Now he's acting like a female with the, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Well, listen, apology accepted. That's what this is. Listen, we can talk about real feminine women. We can do that. I just don't understand why a guy like you would come in here complaining about women that you're not around. If you're a medical doctor and masculine and all this money, then what are you doing on a Saturday morning? I guess wherever you are, what are you doing on a Saturday morning looking at chuckleheads like us? Like, it sounds to me like this guy has enough game knowledge and masculinity. Maybe he should have his own podcast instead of coming in here grandstanding like he's the king of the fucking universe and has all this game.
Well,
guys are always trying to listen. I love our audience, but every once in a while, we get these fucktards who come in here and think they know more than anybody. Like, come on, man. Like, dude, seriously. Like, come on, man. Like, we're all on the same team here, dude. Like, okay, you're a medical doctor, you're highly masculine. Somebody throw him a fucking cookie. Like, seriously, what do you want, a fucking cookie? Get out of here.
Well, Donovan, the thing is, a lot of guys think, see, this is where they don't understand. This is why this show is good the way it is, because we are honest with people, and we're not here to coddle them.
Yeah,
And he sat there and said, women from the U.S. are the worst. And how is it that my clients and Donovan's clients are sleeping with a lot of women if they're so bad? So maybe it's you are the problem, because a man is not going to complain. A man adjusts. And the fact that you are complaining right there and crying, like you said, Donovan, guys, women are victims. Women are unaccountable, and women blame. They're always in their feelings and their emotions.
He's listen. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop picking on him. He says, I found this channel through Rollo. Geez, why is it so wrong for me to listen to get your guys' perspectives? There's nothing wrong with you listening, right? But again, you're talking shit about women. You're coming in here telling us what women, like, well, a real woman would pay if she's late. Okay, that's all well and good, but if that's really the case, then go tell somebody else about that. I've never heard about that. I'm sure they do it in South Korea, but we're not talking about women in South Korea, because if we were, we wouldn't have the show. We'd all be banging feminine South Korean women
for free.
You know what I'm saying? And eating free, right? Like, I wouldn't have to. Come on. I mean, like, listen, I'll leave you alone. Listen,
yeah, we won't hurt his feelings. We won't hurt his feelings.
We hurt his feelings. Go and do some surgeries or whatever. Have women.
You just want to show with real men. So
yeah.
Sorry, we apologize for being real men.
Let's go to the phone lines here. Let's go 914-205-5356. And I bet you, I promise you, he's going to be a last word type of dude, right?
Yeah.
After we tell him we're going to leave him alone, he's going to try to take one more pot shot at us. If he does that, I'm going to ban him. I'm going to ban the fuck out of him, because I'm tired of him acting like a fucking female. Area code 407. You're on live with Stephen Donovan. Go ahead.
Yo, what's going on, Donovan Sharpe?
What's up, brother?
My man, my name's Ron, bro. I'm 21, and I definitely agree with what you guys are saying. It's all about the red pill. It's all about, changing your mindset, and changing your mindset is ultimately what leads to self-improvement. If you're consistently bitching and complaining about women, you can't even improve on yourself.
Right.
First of all.
Yes.
Right.
So it's all about, you know what I mean? So for me, in my example for me, like, I watch your show, I watch Coach Greg Adams, I watch AMS, I watch all the red pill guys, and it helped me as a young guy to just say, F it, I'm not even worried about what we're doing. If I'm out here focusing on going to the gym, and me, I'm trying to get an audio engineering degree, so from, music and stuff like that, I'm too worried about that rather than sitting around bitching and complaining, wondering why a woman is flaking on me.
Yeah, and listen to this. I can promise you this, caller. Since you've started focusing on yourself, you probably get a lot more opportunities with women, don't you?
Exactly. And it started to where I'm talking to a girl right now, and like I said, like, knowing how females are, the red pill definitely teaches you how females are. And I'm not even worried really about what she's doing. If she's out doing whatever, because one, I'm not committed to her. Two, I'm too focused on myself rather than just bitching. You know what I mean?
But young man, you say you're talking to a girl. How long you been talking to her for?
Probably about a month or so.
Why are you? Hey, I blame you. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you talking? Why would you waste your time talking to a woman for a month and she hasn't given you what you wanted, sir?
Wait, has he? Wait, hold on. He did say that he was fucking her, right?
No. I'm saying I have a girl I'm talking to right now, but I'm also building something as well. I'm working towards something. So like I said, when I'm talking to this girl, it's like almost effortless when we first started talking.
Now, are you having sex with her right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, he's fucking her. Okay,
he's smashing. He's smashing.
Okay, he's smashing. All right.
Over in she's in Chicago. I'm in Michigan. So
that's cool, man. I just wanted to make sure he was smashing because
but he said that he's letting her. She comes. He was saying something that he's letting her do something or she's doing something.
I mean, as far as he's gone now. Listen, call back. I think he got.
I think he got scared because he was about to dig into that.
No. I think. Listen, I don't think. Well, me, I don't know. I didn't really see anything in there to. I don't know. Maybe there was something in there. I didn't catch it. Listen, he's talking to a woman. He's smashing her. That's to me.
I just heard him say something about even though she's doing. You see, he was just. Even though she was doing this or something.
There he is. He's back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, about that.
Yo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, yeah, my fault. I don't know what happened.
That's cool.
But what I was saying is, right now, right, I'm saying, to further explain, I'm talking to a female right now, but we're not committed. So obviously, like I said, knowing how females are, I'm not going to trust when she says she's only talking to me.
Right,
You get
of
what I
course.
mean?
Right, gotcha.
Like, yeah. So with that red pill knowledge, I'm in Lansing because I just moved from Chicago, whatever. Long story short, we're kind of like long distance, whatever, but we're not committed. So whatever she's doing,
and you're not putting emotion into it because you know that when she tells you, "Oh, you're the only guy I'm talking to," you're like, "Okay, whatever. Tell me whatever you want, as long as you're handling your business with me." Then we're all good.
Yeah, and like what you said, like I call her out on her bullshit. I'll be like, "Look, I can take your word for it, but I don't believe you 100% because I know how women are."
I respect. Well, yeah, I respect that. They're not committed, so it doesn't matter. So you don't need boundaries if you're not committed.
There you go. There you go.
You're good, dog. I thought you was in a relationship. No, respect to you, brother.
And listen, respect to you because you said, listen, I'm talking to her and I'm smashing, but I'm building something. She's not the focal point of my life.
My man.
Excellent. Well, good call, man. Area code 7, and he sounded like a young guy too.
I know. Good call.
I got another caller here. Looks like they're calling from overseas, and apparently they're out smashing bricks. Caller, you on the air?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, hello. Yes, I'm calling from Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow! From all the way in Australia.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy. You guys stay talking about the Western woman in England, in America, and in Australia. And man, I just love what you guys are doing out here, just preaching the gospel. Like Australia is a very feminist country, and a lot of men out here just being left in the dirt, whether it's with the court system, whether it's with feminism that's taking place in this day and age. We always say out here in Australia, we got a saying that a lot of men here are very, very weak. Australia breeds weak men,
Right.
And, just want to shout out and say thank you to guys like yourself that are making guys like us wake up. Donovan, I listened to your, 7-hour training on how to train a woman from the get-go.
Good.
And man, I've been sharing that with the people out here, and they've been purchasing, and man, they're thanking me. Like, they're really thanking me. And I'm like, man, shout out to Donovan, the Donovans of the world, and men like yourself who are out here, staying woke, informing the people, and letting us know that we've been brainwashed and that there's a better way to live like a lion, like a king. So shout out from Australia, man. Appreciate that, guys.
Good stuff, man. Good call, man. Listen, Steve, I don't know if you know this, but Australia is, dude, the 3 regions, as far as I know, right? I've been around the world. I'm a military brat and all that. But the thing is this, man, is Australia, in terms of the infestation of feminism, dude, that's one of the worst. That's one of the worst places. The UK, Great Britain, the United States of America, or North America, Canada, and Australia. Those are the 3 feminist hotbeds. So the fact that Australians are listening to the show, that just shows us that Australia, they're in a bad way, man. They really are.
Oh yeah. Well, everybody the thing is that it's the knowledge that they're getting from 2 men, and that's the thing that's guiding them in these dark times. So no, respect to them.
Good stuff, man. All right, so Steve, you said something very that was very extremely accurate. You cannot set boundaries if there is no commitment. You can't tell a woman, well, I don't date women who text their ex. If you're not dating her, if there's no commitment, then why are you mentioning that? This is why I always tell guys, and I sound like a broken record when I say this. Speaking of Australia, Matthew Dellavedova is on my screen here. I'm watching the Cavaliers and the almost called them the Washington Bullets, the Washington Wizards. Never angle for a relationship first. So I'm going to segue into this. Now I'm going to talk about understanding the difference between boundaries and expectations. Boundaries are behaviors you won't tolerate and have to be established from the beginning of the relationship, oftentimes from your very first interaction. They're the things that don't seem like a big deal on its face, but red pill awareness allows you to see that they could be a huge problem down the road if left unchecked. Like I said before, texting her ex on her phone during a date when she's at your place, the way she talks to you, her tone of voice, raising your voice, if she has male friends, delayed texting, et cetera, et cetera. Expectations are exactly what they are. Expectations. These are behaviors that you expect her to either engage in or refrain from in order to be in and stay in a relationship with you. Now, notice, like what I said before, like what Steve just said, is relationship. Boundaries are for every woman you are romantically, sexually involved with. one night stands, fuck buddies, etc. Boundaries and expectations are for women you are in a relationship with. So I said all that to say this. It doesn't matter whether you're committed to her or you're just fucking her casually. A boundary you're going to set is no drama in my life. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to engage in disrespectful behavior when you're with me. Setting expectations for fuck buddies or plates or casual hookups, that's ridiculous. The only thing you should expect from women you're fucking is just fucking. That's it. Anyway, expectations are things that you verbalize, and you never verbalize expectations unless she angles for a relationship, right? Things like avoiding sex, going to bars or clubs without you, talking to other men in your presence when she's in public with you, her physical appearance. You're entitled to set boundaries because you're a man of high value. You're in good shape, you're well dressed, you have your shit together, etc. As a man of value, you can set boundaries that women will take seriously because you have your shit together. And as a side note, this actually goes to what Steve said earlier. If you don't have your shit together, you can't expect women to respect your boundaries. That's the same thing. That's the same as expectations. Telling your girl to get into shape when you're a fat ass who doesn't lift, that's pointless. She's going to laugh and say, well, what about you, fat ass? So what are your thoughts on setting expectations when you're in a relationship, Steve?
Well, I think expectations are another cornerstone of your last name and how she views you as a man. And this is why it's important, Donovan, to have expectations already in place. And like you said, to make proper adjustments depending on the woman that you're dealing with. And an expectation is something that, listen, I'm not going to compromise. There are things that we negotiate, chicken or steak, but an expectation is an expectation. Because at the end of the day, what I try to tell guys, I need to know, listen, you got a beautiful body. I love your ass, the curves and all this other stuff, but are you worth my time?
Yeah.
Or does your personality and your behaviors and your respect for me line up with your beauty? And I think this is where a lot of guys go wrong. They see a beautiful woman, they see a beautiful body, and they bypass their expectations because they think, wow, I'd rather have a pretty woman on my shoulder that's going to treat me like half a man than no woman at all. So the expectations are very important because at the end of the day, you're getting on my bus.
Right.
So if you're getting on my bus, you need to follow my rules and you need to be worth my time. You hear that? My. Never said once hers, because it ain't about her. It's always about me, brother.
Good stuff, man. So let's go over a few examples of boundary setting in terms of behavior. I'm going to give you guys like real life examples of setting boundaries. A lot of times when we get on here, we start talking about these things. We talk in very general terms. You should set boundaries. You shouldn't, take disrespect. That absolutely has utility. But in tonight's show, I'm going to give you guys a few examples in terms of the way I handle it. And then Steve will give you his perspective. Area code 206. I'm going to get to you in just a second. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go over this quick section, and then we'll go right to you on the phone lines here. So in terms of setting boundaries with behaviors, okay? So for example, if you're on a date and she's on her phone during the date, and I'll actually tell you a quick personal story. This is funny. You're going to like this, Steve. When I first started running Red Pill style game, I had a 3-month stretch where every chick that I was out on a date with was on her phone the entire time. Now, obviously, I fucking hated it. So I researched how to handle it. And I came across a Christian McQueen post where he said he reached over the table, grabbed the girl's phone, placed it face down, and says to her, "Not now, doll." So on my next date, I tried the exact same thing. I reached over, I grabbed her phone, and she pulled it away. And she said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, I don't want you on your phone during a date. And she said, "Too fucking bad." Right? Now, that was obviously an embarrassment, but the reason that fell flat is because my frame was all wrong. My delivery was weak, and in all honesty, she probably didn't really like me that much in the first place. It was the first time I'd ever tried that technique, and it was obvious. So I tweaked it a little bit, and then I tried again. I was out maybe maybe a week and a half later, and I already knew this girl liked me a lot more than the last girl I tried because she was the one who approached me. So we're at a Starbucks. I think it was inside of a Caesar's Palace. And as soon as she pulled out her phone, I said, "Put that away for me, would you?" She said, Oh, I'm sorry. I was just checking if my friend called. I just smiled back and I just sipped my latte. Not only did I not see her on the phone for the rest of the date, I didn't see it, her phone, for the rest of the night. Not even when we got to her place. Check this out. The next morning, right? I fucked her that night. The next morning, she literally asked me, we're at her place, we're in her house. She asked me, hey, do you mind if I check my phone? I said, yeah, no problem. Just don't get lost in there. She laughed and said, okay. Now, I dated that girl for 5 months, and I don't know, we were kind of sort of exclusive, but not really to the point. You know, we were serious enough to the point where she knew that she was not supposed to be on her phone when she was around me. And all I had to do was be assertive about it. And again, guys, if a woman responds adversely to masculinity, if she responds adversely to you attempting to establish a boundary, don't trip. Don't freak out. All this means is that you will use her for nothing but sex. The highest status she will ever have with you is a fuck buddy or a friend with benefit. Maybe even a one-night stand. And if you can't get the pussy, move on and charge it to the game. Right. You're Steve.
One thing I want to say that I need guys to understand too is that if you are an interesting man, she will not even touch the phone. If the conversations that y'all are having and the texts that y'all are having before the date are that fun and that interesting, because Donovan, like I always say, the date shouldn't be about interviewing. The date should be about hugs and kisses and a little more petting instead of interviewing. And I think what's going on with a lot of guys is that they get a lot of this fucking bad information on YouTube, and then they try to compile it together. Then they get in front of a woman and don't even know what to do. I call it the curse of the Benjamin Button. They do everything ass backwards. But the thing is, when it comes to women, is that if you don't want her to be on her phone and staring in your eyes and smiling at you and telling you how cute I mean, guys, I know this sounds weird, but when they are really into you, they're going to start to tell you how cute your smile is. They're going to notice a dimple if you have one. They're going to start touching your face. They're going to be leaning in, and they're going to be putting their phone down because you are more interesting than that other guy who she's waiting to text.
Yeah, be more interesting than the phone, and she will take more interest in you. 914-205-5356. That's the number to call if you have a question or a comment. Let's go to area code 206. You're on live. You are on live with Donovan and Steve. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Donovan, this is Fred. I'm the guy from South Korea. I figured I'd call in.
Oh, there he is. All right. So Fred, so Fred the MD, who we were jousting with. So what's going on, man?
So no, I just want to talk about this paying for a date thing, and cultures are different. So some girls, but that's been my experience. And you know, if you roll back, you said go ahead and call in.
Yep.
If a girl is 20 minutes late, and you were talking about expectations, which I fully agree with that segment. If your expectations are you value your time, girls make good money in Japan and Korea. There's a lot of jobs that only girls can get, and they're actually making more money than the guys. I mean, I'm not Asian, but they do pay, and I'm just saying my experience, expectations. But if you have what questions you have, because I heard I'm in the service myself, so when you said you're military brat, I definitely have to call in. So.
Okay. Yeah. My dad, I've been, oh my God, I've been all over the globe. Let me ask you this. In terms of, because I guess listen, I've never really had a thing for Asian women, but why is it that if the girl is late, they actually pay for the date? Like, what part of the culture encourages them to do that? Or was it just something that they just made up themselves? Because I've never heard of this.
Well, the other thing is, when I was living in Hawaii for 6 years, and most of the Asian women I would date, they were not westernized in a sense. They've been in Hawaii less than, say, 3 years.
Yeah.
But there's a common thing that even when a girl wants to have sex with you, she wants to pay half, or she wants to pay, period. Okay. So, and that's kind of started in Hawaii. So, I don't know if it's the culture. I mean, the February 14th, Valentine's Day in Japan and Korea too, that the women give chocolates to their guys that they like.
Right.
And
yeah, Modern Life, Jonathan from Modern MLD
to,
actually talks about that.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, maybe it's just, you know, I 10% of the women I date are Western, but you know, like I said, everyone has their own preferences. I'm not telling you guys, oh, you know, Western women, you know, we're in the same side here. That's the reason I'm calling in.
No. Okay.
I listened to you for the first time, and you guys are saying some good shit. So,
Good stuff. Well, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. He called up to clear the air. He was actually right about one thing. Yeah, Western women are shitty women. If Western women weren't so shitty, then shows like this wouldn't exist. Obviously, I guess as that guy pointed out, there are different cultures that have different traditions. So if you're looking for women who will pay for a date when and if they show up a few minutes late, then I would advise moving to South Korea. So shout out to your boy area code 206 for stepping into the lion's den. Let's talk about another bad behavior, another behavior that you need to set boundaries on, and this is flaky behavior. In other words, being late to a date or a meetup, just like what we were just talking about. Handling flaky behavior how can I put this? In my experience, it's never worked for me. Handling it verbally never works for me. If I have ever said to a woman, don't be late, it literally goes in one ear and out the other. And again, the reason for this, in my experience, is because she hears this from her mother. She hears this from her friends, her boss. Everyone she knows consistently tells her not to be late. So when you tell her not to be late, she'll just ignore it as a matter of habit. Here's another thing. If you are actively telling a girl not to be late, your value is not high enough. If you are getting the inkling that she's going to be late, you probably already know she doesn't really like you as much as you thought she did, right? Well, how do I handle flaky behavior, Donovan? I get this all the time. Well, what makes you think she might be flaky? She's going to be flaky. Well, she said she might be late because she's going to be doing something before the date. I'm like, dude, no. She's not interested. If a woman wants to fuck you, she will find a way to fuck you. Dude, if you live in Seattle and she lives in Florida and you say, be here tomorrow night at 7, if you want you to smash, trust me, she'll be on the next flight out. This is how this goes. The reason why you have to handle flaky behavior from the beginning is because she's disrespecting your time. Like I said earlier, if a woman can't be bothered to show up on time, then she does not respect you. So rather than telling her not to be late or asking her why she's late, give her a 5-minute window to show up. If she doesn't, then leave. When she and again, this is practical knowledge here. This is the actionable advice. When she calls you or texts you and asks you where you were, say, well, I was here at 7 and I didn't see or hear from you, so I just left. Then you go dark for 24 hours. This lets her know that she needs to get her ass ready and be on time if she wants to keep seeing you. If she can't be on time, then she at least needs to have enough respect for you to send you a courtesy text. Hey, I'm running a little bit late. I'll see you at 7:15. Steve, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, flaky behavior is just telling the guy a truth that they don't want to swallow.
Woo!
Flaky behavior. Let me help you guys across the street to guys who get a lot of ass and how the real world works. When a woman knows that she's going on a date with a real man, she's getting the pedicure, the manicure, she's going to the beauty salon, she's getting with her girlfriends and some of you guys to find the right dress or the right outfit for the date. That's it. There's no such thing as flaking, because this is what y'all guys got to understand. If you handle it in the front end, gentlemen, you're not going to have back end problems. And the problem is, Donovan, too many guys are walking on eggshells instead of telling these women they're not their expectations as far as a relationship, but what I expect from someone that I want to spend time with. Keyword, time. I don't like dealing with flaky women. And you know what? I will tell her that early on. So if she is flaky, and like you said, give her a few minutes, she flakes, I'm gone. But the difference between you and me, Donovan, I'm done. Unless she crawls back, rolls fruit at my feet.
Hold up, real quick. If she flakes on, listen, if she doesn't show up to the date at all, oh no. Listen, she flakes on you once, that's it. That's a wrap. I am never going to woman.
One and done. Yeah, right. My bad, Donovan. One and done. One and done. There's no calling her, asking her, why didn't you show up? And what? We're done. We're done. See, That's what, see, if y'all want to know what separates men from everybody else,
That's right.
is that you stand on your principle. And my principle is this: you flake, you done.
That's it.
That's it.
The mentality that you need to have is a freshman All-American college basketball player.
Yeah.
One and done. That's what you need. That's what that needs to be.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about another boundary that you need to set, another brand of disrespectful behavior that women like to show, and this is her tone of voice. Okay. These days, we see women disrespecting their men in public in many different ways, right? The way they do it most of the time is the way they talk to them. We see women raising their voices at men. We see them being overtly condescending. We see all of this outward disrespect in public, and we always wonder to ourselves, how in the world is she getting away with this? Well, the answer is simple. He didn't check her the first time she yelled at him or took an aggressive tone with him.
Yes, sir.
The way to handle your woman verbally disrespecting you in public and private, that is verbal, okay? The very first time she raises her voice at you, look her in the eye and say, lower your voice. And you keep eye contact until she looks away, right? This lets her know that she is never to raise her voice at you. Don't yell at her. Don't get all crazy. If she starts to get out of pocket, lower your voice. And you do so in such a way that you are dead fucking serious. The very first time she condescends to you, or she speaks to you in a disrespectful tone, or she gives you an attitude, again, look her dead in the eye and say, watch your fucking tone. Fucking swear. In both cases, guys, you don't yell. You don't get crazy. You don't get angry. You simply lower your voice. You make strong eye contact. This is listen, lowering your voice and making strong eye contact when giving a woman an order or a command, this is far more effective than yelling or getting loud with her. It will have a far greater impact on her and will let her know that you're not fucking around. If after the first warning, rather, she does it again, then you turn up the heat a little bit and you let her know what the consequences of her actions will be. So let's say your girl raises her voice at you again. This time, you look her in the eye and say, yo, you raise your voice again and I'm out of here, right? Like, in other words, I'm going the fuck home. Or raise your voice again and I'm taking you to the fucking house. Like, that's just all there is to it. Oh my God, are you giving me an ultimatum? No, I'm giving you a choice. You can either talk to me with a little bit of respect and we can enjoy the day, or you can continue talking to me in any old kind of way and we can go our separate ways. Your thoughts, Steve?
Donovan jeopardized Sharpe. Boy, let me tell you. I wish a woman would raise her voice and be condescending. I beg for that because I don't get that. You want to know why, Donovan? Because, like I told you in the beginning, from the first moment we start talking, I'm a drama-free man.
That's right.
When I'm talking to you, look, now if I got her face in the pillow and her ass up in the air, you can
all kinds of
scream, cuss at me, call me all kind of MFs. But when you and I are going out, because remember, you are a reflection of me. So you ain't going to get a high octave and you ain't going to get out of pocket thinking I'm him. And that's some of the problems, Donovan. See, the thing is, and this is the truth, Donovan, a lot of women don't run into Donovan Sharpes of the world or Steve, the motherfucking Dean Williams of the world. They run into, why are you yelling at me? And why are you raising your voice? I'm sorry. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I don't want to sleep on the couch. Whatever, right? They run into all that grass-eating line type stuff. So sometimes, and then there's another group they run into, Donovan. It's the guy that wears the Donovan Sharpe, Steve the Dean Williams mask.
Oh,
they pretend to be Steve the Dean Williams and Donovan Sharpe, but then when they get checked and they raise their voice, the mask comes off.
That's right.
So they're always going to shit test us, and that's the truth, Donovan. But it's one time, and here it is. If you do it, Donovan, this how simple it is. If you pump enough blood in your heart to go through your veins, in your muscles, to form your mouth to get high on and yell at me, you either better call an Uber and lose my number because I ain't dealing with you. Because but Donovan is a thing that they understand. See, when a woman knows that you have options, she's going to think twice before opening her mouth. Only time she gonna get at most guys all the time is when they know that they don't have anywhere else to go. Then they feel they can do whatever they want. I'm a man. I always have options. So let me tell you something. Raise your voice. Please raise your voice. Cuss me out. Please.
I wish a bitch would.
I wish you would. Come on. Yeah, me. Shit.
All right, got a couple of callers on the line. Let's go to area code 773. You're on live with Donovan and Steve. Go ahead.
Coach.
Doing good, man.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still on the topic as far as with paying for lunch. I mean, paying for dates and everything.
Okay. All right. What you got?
Just recently, just like it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Me and the guy, we just pretty much double date. We just all hung out, and the girl, well, me and the other guy, we came in at the same time. Then we was like, okay, we'll just wait for the girl to get here. But after 30 minutes, we was like, man, where they at? We started texting. We walked around for a while just to, see the scenery and what all we can do once they show up. But they, it was taking a long time. So I'm like, okay, we found the pool table, and we was like, okay, we're finna start playing some pool. But then, when they finally showed up like an hour and a half late, I'm like, that's okay. Y'all paying for lunch.
Okay.
That's okay. It's all good, you know. So
okay. So that's
like,
what happened.
yeah,
did they end up paying for lunch?
Yeah.
But,
and I was like, okay, but that was just and for me, I identify myself as mixed child. And I look at just I watch your shows, how you relate, and I love it.
Good.
Because you're real with everything. A woman, you don't give a woman your respect, they earn it.
That's right.
And I see where you're going with that. And for me, well, like I said, just growing up, I'm 31. And just like in my younger days, I did not have this concept. I didn't understand what was going on because I was like one of those nice guys, just really friendly. And, I was, you treat a girl nice. That's what my mother used to tell me. You treat a girl with respect, this, that, and the other. And I tried doing all that. But yet, as what I found out was like, I kept getting the same results.
Sir.
I'm like, okay, but yeah, when I learned MGTOW,
okay.
I learned MGTOW, I was like, this is what it really.
I don't like MGTOWs, but let me ask you a question, because this I understand why you're MGTOW. Explain to me why you're a 31-year-old man going on a double date with a guy like you in high school. That's what women see. This is the problem we have with y'all guys. See, the thing about women, they want to be alone with a man. They don't want to go on double. This is not high school anymore. Why are you going out with a woman with another dude?
This wasn't this.
Go ahead, caller.
I didn't look at it as a date. We were just hanging out. But the fact that
hold on, Steve. Hold on.
They showed up.
No, go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Okay. The fact that they showed up late, I'm like, okay, well then this should just have them tonight. To pay more attention to time. Because right now we're trying to get in, have fun, and just enjoy the moment with with each other.
Okay, well, wait a minute. I think listen, hold on, caller. I think I know what Steve's going to ask, so I'm going to ask it, and you're going to tell me if I'm right, Steve. What are you doing spending time with women if there's no intention of fucking them?
What does that mean? What line hangs out with a zebra? Explain that. What do you mean hanging out?
No, because look, we always coworkers.
Oh my
and
okay.
It all comes. See, this is all come to fruition with these MGTOWs. Number one, you don't eat and shit where you work. So apparently, you don't understand about the Me Too movement, where if you mess with a woman, she can get you on sexual harassment charges. That's number one. Number two, whoever taught you to go hang out with a woman, go to his door, knock on it, and punch him right in his jaw. Men do not hang out with the food. Do not hang out with women. That is something that asexuals do. You don't hang out with women. Hang out and do what? Pass recipes? What does that mean?
Listen, caller. Listen, caller. What Steve is trying to say, and I agree with him 100%. Don't be friends with women. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
I think what got taken out of context, what got lost in translation, is that when you told us about this meetup, we assumed that there was some sort of romantic interest on both ends. but because there's no, well, okay, well then if a woman, if the women showed up late and paid for your meal because they were late, that doesn't count because there's no romantic interest there, right?
No, I know what happened. I know what happened, Donovan.
What happened?
They spent that hour and a half smashing real men. They cleaned themselves up and they went to go hang out with the grass-eating lions who would rather play pool on a pool table than having her ass on the pool table smashing. And that's why you're a Met house, sir.
Listen, caller, check this out. In the future, listen, just understand this. And you don't have to do any of this. You're a grown man, you're going to make your own decisions. But my general rule of thumb, area code 773, is the only time I am with a woman is if I want to fuck her, if I am fucking her, or I have fucked her. There is no reason for me to be hanging out with persons of the opposite sex if there's no sexual interest. And I think, and listen, I understand you're just trying to hang out and have fun. Don't do that with women.
Never. Listen,
never hang out with women if the possibility of sex is not on.
Yes, listen to Uncle Dean and Uncle Donovan, okay? Listen to Unc for a second. Now, again, I'm not for you Metals, but I'm gonna give you some man advice. Stop hanging out with the food. The longer you hang out with her, the more she's gonna realize your pussy is tighter than hers, and that's why they waited an hour and a half. You want to know why? Because they knew you weren't going to do anything about it, because you were going to accept the crumbs and the scraps of them being late and you not even checking them on the behavior. I mean, this is pathetic, dog.
Well, what I looked at as far as with checking is, they paid for it. And they pay for the meals, and we just enjoyed the rest of the night.
Okay, listen, I understand where you might think that you got the W, and listen, I guess you got something out of it. You got a free meal, but again, you can't let a woman pay for disrespecting you. This is like a woman, and again, listen, I'm trying to impart some knowledge on you here, 773, because if you hang out with women and you allow them to disrespect you, it becomes a habit. And so when you're hanging out with women that you are sexually attracted to, you're going to indirectly be a little bit more tolerant of that behavior. But I said all that to say this. When you allow a woman to say, okay, well, I was late, let me make it up to you. No, there's no making it up. This is like your woman being a complete bitch to you before she goes off to work and then coming home and wanting to suck your dick to make you forget about being a bitch. No, sweetie. You are a fucking bitch. I'm going to withdraw my attention and you're going to earn that attention back. You don't get to slut your way out of bad behavior. You have to earn that back. When you allow women to pay for disrespectful behavior or do something to make up for disrespectful behavior, that says that your respect can be bought. Respect can't be bought. Your respect needs to be earned. You understand what I'm saying there, caller?
Yeah. I see. That's a good outlook.
Yeah, young man, you're 31 years old, okay? You're 31 years old, okay? You got to understand this. These women are smarter than a lot of you guys out there when it comes to dating, and they know what they can get away with certain guys that don't stand on any principles. What you see right here is a case of when you want to go your own way. Go your own way. I don't know where the hell you're going, but go your own way. But because you're going your own way, you're so blinded to the fact that you're being disrespected by women that really don't care about you. And the fact that you're even allowing them to be in your presence after, like Donovan said, it wasn't 15 minutes, Donovan. We're talking an hour and a half. Yeah. And yet you let a dinner. Now, and let me explain one more time. Donovan, one more time. A dinner to be okay. But that tells her and all the women why they walk over you. Then what happens real quick, Donovan, guys like this want to run back to the cuddle party group and say women are terrible. But this is the problem that we're having. Nobody's taking responsibility and being real with these women. But when these women start to walk all over these guys, the first thing they want to do is go back to the cult of the Metals and complain that women are terrible. Women are awful. You don't talk to women at your job, young man. Good Lord. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah. And again, he would probably argue, well, it was nothing romantic, to which I would say, do not hang out with women where there is where sex is not on the table. I think he learned that lesson. And the risk you run, and area code 707, I'm coming right to you. The risk that you run when you hang out with women that you aren't trying to fuck, are fucking, or have fucked is that you start to develop these habits, because when you're not fucking a woman, the rules change. This is why you shouldn't hang out with women that you're not trying to fuck. When those rules change for platonic friends, they're going to change with romantic friends as well. So caller again, yes. I would strongly, you're a man, you're going to do whatever you want. I would strongly advise you to refrain from hanging out with persons of the opposite sex when sex is not on the table.
Yes, sir.
Got a few super chats to get to here.
Right.
Appreciate Mr. Barlow with the $2 super chat.
Hey, Barlow.
Yeah, Chris Michaels with the $4 super chat, and Void with the $5 super chats is not a sharp. Love this new call-in show. I appreciate that. All right, well, let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to area code 707. You're on live. Go ahead.
Yo, this is Tyler in 707.
What's up, Ty?
And Steve, I'm just reporting back that the teacher finally sent a picture after telling her, we'll have our date once you send a picture.
Good.
You remember who we were talking about?
Yes, sir. Good job, sir. Yes.
Oh, good stuff. Field report updates. I love it.
Now I'm on my way there now, and I need to check her to a certain degree because she didn't do it on the first response, correct?
Well, yes, but Tyler, when you get over there and you give her a hug, you tell her how good and sexy she look, you make sure you tell her. The next time I ask you to send me a picture, you send me one, or I'm not going to show up again. That's it. This is not. Exactly. This is not a Hallmark moment or chicken soup for the soul. You got to show her that you are serious now, and I'm glad you stood by your guns, because a lot of guys don't. If you, Donovan, he asked for a picture. Well, first, hey, Donovan, let me give you a quick story. What happened was she was one of those women that was bullshitting, right?
Okay.
So he told her that from Uncle Dean, you get at me when, don't waste my time type stuff.
Right.
So then she came back a few months later. He asked for a photo. She was bullshitting a little bit, but now he nipped her a little bit. Now he's going to see her. Now you about to go over her crib right now?
Yeah, going over her place right now.
Oh yeah, he's about to smash.
Yeah, he's about to smash. So hey, just hit one for me and Uncle Donovan.
I gotta eat. It's 6:00. I gotta eat sometime.
Okay, yeah, you got go eat. Yeah, but hey, listen, don't let her give you an hour and a half. If she doesn't answer the door, you go home.
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I know.
Hey, listen, 707, check this out. Call back in next week and let us know how it went, man, because we're going to be right back here, same bat channel, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, 707.
All right.
Good stuff, man. All right, got another call here. Let's go to area code 773. You're on live with Don and the Dean.
Yo.
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
So I just wanted to tell you guys, Don, man, you have literally changed my life. And I want to say thank you so much, because I was blackpilling it for a long time. And, I was going through a little turmoil, but listening to your videos, it shook the webs off me. And now I'm really grabbing, life by the balls.
Good.
So I just wanted to call in to say I appreciate it. And I'm saving up my money now to get the how to get my game up. And I'm going to tear this world up, man.
Good stuff, man. Hey, listen, shoot me an email, 773. Shoot me an email, and I'll do I'll create a little discount code for you, man. Make it a little easier for you to get.
Man, you're the best, the Don. I call you the Don for a reason, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Listen. TSR at donovansharp.com. Send me an email, and I'll shoot you back a personalized discount code for you, man.
Appreciate you, boss. I appreciate you.
Not a problem, man. Take care. Well, good stuff, man. I love it when guys call in with field reports. Hey,
yes.
like that guy, Tyler in 707 said, hey, Steve, I did what you said, and I'm going to smash right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that stuff. I love when people say, hey, Donovan, you helped me out. I used to be this, but I listened to your podcast, and now I'm that. I always like when I hear guys getting real results from what we talk about, man.
Yes,
To me, that's the most gratifying thing. That's the most gratifying element of doing this stuff. Speaking of smash, let us talk about another boundary before we get to that. Freelance Runner with a $5 super chat says hanging out with women as just friends is like getting an ice cream cone and just waiting while it melts away in the heat instead of heating it. That's perfect. I've never heard that before. That makes all the sense in the world. I swear to God. Yeah, listen, Void says it, dude. Freelance Ronan has listened to me since like episode 3, and his analogies are always top notch.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Right. So we are going, and again, guys, call in. You guys have another 35 minutes to call into the show. 914-205-5356. 914-205-5356. We're going to talk about another bad behavior, another boundary that you need to set, and that need to set. That is withholding sex. Now, this one is simple, and the way to handle a woman withholding sex is nonverbal. If she doesn't fuck you, if she doesn't allow you to fuck her, immediately remove yourself from the situation and completely withdraw your attention until she comes over and puts her pussy on a platter for you, or you just drop her altogether. Don't say, well, if we don't have sex, I'm going to leave. Dude, fuck that. Just do it. Just leave, and she'll get the fucking message. So, for example, if you're at her place or she's at your place and you try to fuck her and she tells you she has a headache or she's sick or she's tired or whatever other bullshit excuse she tells you to keep from fucking you, then leave. If she's at your place, tell her she's got to go. Gentlemen, I'm telling you this right now. If you allow a woman to withhold sex from you even one time, she will definitely do it later on and much more frequently if you're dumb enough to commit to her. Guys, a woman withholding sex from you is a shit test. Fail it and you're done. A lot of guys get put in the friend zone this way. They start fucking a girl. The girl withholds sex one time, and before he knows it, he's in the friend zone before he even realizes it. Allowing a woman you are fucking to get away with not putting out sets a bad precedent, and it will come back to bite you in the ass. Your very presence, gentlemen, and I want you to listen to this. Listen very closely. Your very presence is 100% contingent upon her having sex with you. If she doesn't have sex for you, then there is no reason for you to be around. Let me repeat that. If she is not having sex with you, there is no reason for you to be around. This is something that speaks volumes, and you didn't have to say a damn thing. If you do not set this boundary now, she will withhold sex later on. They always do. This is why it's important for you to set and strictly enforce this boundary. Right. Your thoughts, Steve?
Get your goddamn crayons out, guys, on this.
Here we go.
Uncle Dean, get your crayons out. Listen, you're dealing with women that know the chess game of the game of sex. And the problem is the reason they're not having sex with you is because they notice the thirstiness and neediness in you guys. What I always tell you to do, yes, make it about your time, number one. But number two, don't waste your time, like Donovan's saying. Listen, I'm not trying to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend, and I don't want you to like me. Now, I'm telling y'all, I don't want your likes. I don't want your friendship. I want your attraction, and I want your face in the pillow and your ass in the air. And if you can't give me those two things, then you know what? Get back to me when you want to, because I don't want to waste my time. And Donovan, you got to be man enough.
That's right.
To listen, if you have her come over your house and she's bullshitting with you, you have every right to pat your pants out, stand up, walk over there gently, smoothly, grab her purse, stick your hand out, grab her hand, give her said purse, and walk her straight the hell out your door and tell her why. Because most women, see, and it goes back to that, the one in the pool table. If she can get away with it, guys, she'll get away with it. But when you have options, Donovan, right, Donovan? That's when she's trying to compete with the other women. Thus, that's when you're going to get the see, it all comes down to the options, Donovan. When she knows there are other women, she's going to have sex with you. But what you're saying is absolutely right. Don't sit around and play footsies with these women. Don't sit around and accept a selfie instead of you rubbing on that titty when she coming to see you or her, or vice versa. Donovan, don't do it at all, my brother.
I'm with you 100%. I am with you 100%, man. I think you and I are lockstep. We're lockstep as far as that's
Yes.
concerned. 707, clear, concise, impactful, with the $2 super chat, says www.themanmindset.
Wait, Donovan, are you there? Did we lose you? Wait a second. I think we just lost Donovan. Hold on, guys. Donovan will return in a second. He just come
All right, I'm back.
Okay, go ahead, Donovan.
Listen, I just
go ahead, Donovan.
listen. I just got this new touchpad from Apple, and dude, it's fucking unbelievable. And I swiped to the left, and I backed it up. So anyway, let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to area code 312. You're online. You are on live with Don and with the Dean and Don.
Donovan.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Good. You?
Good, good. Hey, I got a question. So, I follow a lot of your programs and all that. So, I'm dealing with females that are straight blue pilled, and they think the way they think, and I think the way I think in my red pill ways. So, I'm familiar with the 48 laws of power, and one of the laws is like act as you, think as you may, but act like others. So in my mindset, I just let them think however they, think, but just play my role and just like conceal my intentions. Are you familiar with the 48 laws of power?
Robert Greene.
Well, what? Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
Yes.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. So it's a, yeah.
You say they're blue pill.
Yeah, women aren't. I was gonna say, caller, women are not blue pilled, right?
What is that? Yeah. What does that mean?
I think what he means, and caller, you can correct me when I'm telling if I'm getting this wrong here. When you say women are blue pilled, I think what you mean to say is that they're not used to being around red pill men. They're used to they expect you to be blue pill, because women are not blue pill, caller. Women are very much aware of the real nuances of the sexual marketplace. They pretend not to know, but they absolutely know. So just be very careful with your wording there. But go ahead.
Yes.
Yes. So it's basically like they follow like the mainstream, everything that, the narrative. So it's like, what I'm trying to get at is like, I might as well just act like I don't know the red pill, but, just follow along just to get whatever I want. But as far as, it's almost like they want me to follow their, how can I say, their program.
Well, of course not. Right.
Like all
yeah. Never. Right. Of course. Listen, never follow a woman's program. I think, and listen, good for you. That's, and a lot of guys sort of get tripped up because they don't understand that it's your way or the highway. We say this all the time. It's a cliche because it's true. You have to understand this. In like romance is like sales. In every interaction, there's going to be a sale made, right? You're either going to sell the customer on why you need the product, or the customer is going to sell you on why they don't. Well, it's the same with women. You're either going to sell a woman why you need to be on your program, or she's going to sell you why you need to be on hers. Don't buy what she's selling. That's really what this comes down to.
Well, Donovan, but he's saying some things that are kind of disturbing me a little bit. He's saying that he's hiding his intentions. He's saying that the women are being a certain way. The fact is he's allowing these women to be this certain way. My question I want to ask you, caller, is that when you're on the phone with the women, what are you talking about to them? What intentions are you setting up with these women? Are you setting up, hooking up? What are you doing, sir?
Well, my intentions are only to hang out, have fun, and hook up. They want all this romance and all the shit that they see on the movies, which, I'm not.
Listen, hold on, Steve. I understand what's happening here. This is one of the fundamental differences between myself and Steve. Steve, you and Alan Roger Curry are lockstep in this. And again, caller, let me know if I'm accurate with this or not. Steve and Alan are staunchly against what we like to call non-sequitur game. In other words, you're not going to tell her that you're only going to use her for sex. You maybe give her the impression that this might go somewhere other than sex, only not to give her the relationship. Alan and Steve are in this camp. Listen, you go up to a girl, listen, I'm going to let you know I'm trying to smash. There's no relationship. There's no marriage. take it or leave it.
Well, no, not that. No, I know that's what he did. No, I'm not like that. No. This is what I say. This is what I say. And I want to say this real quick. But the thing is, what if you said, okay, what if you're hiding your intentions and then you go over her house and her intentions are to use you, get your wallet, get your credit card information, and go to Macy's and spend money on you? You would be mad at her. Am I correct? Would you be upset? Would you be pissed off?
No, well, see.
No, sir. That's a yes, no question. That's a question. Yes, no.
I control the options.
Well, but sir, I'm asking you, if you did not, if she had you come over without telling you her true intentions, and you went over there and she drugged you, took your credit card, and went on a Macy's a spree, would you get mad? Yes or no?
Of course.
Okay, so why do you think that she shouldn't be allowed to get mad at you if you're not being honest with her? Listen, I'm not like Alan Carroll. Alan does his thing. I'm saying this. As a man, if that's what you want to do, then tell her. There's no reason to bullshit with a woman and make her think you want a relationship with her, and when you don't want one. This is the cause and effect of why we're having the problems today, because everybody wants to backdoor a woman instead of manning up and saying, look, I don't want a relationship with you. I'm attracted to you. I want to sleep with you. What's so wrong with saying that, sir?
Now, caller, is that what you're doing? Are you giving women the impression that you might want a relationship when you really don't, or are we misunderstanding?
No, I don't bring nothing about no relationship up. I go with the flow. That's what I tell them, and I just let things play out as they go with time. You know. Now I understand what Stevie's saying, but you got to understand with so many other guys, basically, coming mode one at them. Oh, I want to give you some dick. I want to give you some. They get tired of that. That's almost like I talk to females. They're like, damn, I got so many guys sending me fucking dick pics. So it's almost about the same thing as me telling her, oh, I want to fuck. You know why? Don't even bring that up.
But sir, I can't speak for Alan Roger Curry. I can't speak for Alan Roger Curry in mode one. But what I can speak for the man mindset is we don't tell guys to send dick pictures to women. We don't tell guys that we want to fuck women. We do not do that. The man mindset, if you study the man or know about us, we teach you how to get the women to want to fuck you instead of you begging to try to fuck them, or what you're saying. You're playing and letting life happen. You're waiting for the sun, moon, and stars to line up for her to see you in a different light. That's not the game, sir. That's not how you're supposed to do it. Now, if you want to do it your way, go ahead. But I don't ever tell anybody to send dick pictures and things and say, I want to F you or nothing. That's not what we do over here. So, no, and again, I'm not to say Alan does that. I'm not speaking for him, but I am like this. If she wants a relationship and you don't, why can't you just be honest and say, I don't want a relationship with you? If you don't say that, then you are leading her on, sir, because you're not correcting the statement that she's making, Donovan. That's all I'm saying, man.
Okay. All right. I think you guys were probably on the same page, just maybe on a different spot of the page. Let's go to area code 682. You're on live. Go ahead.
Hey guys, fellas, it's always an honor. Donovan, Boyd calling from Texas again. Love the new show. Don and Dean, y'all doing y'all's thing.
Appreciate it.
Just want to give a really quick story. It's pretty interesting. What I was doing one day was I was watching a show called Below Deck. It's a show about top-notch yacht cruise liners.
Listen, caller. Devin likes to watch that bullshit. I tell her, don't watch this show when I'm in the room. Listen, Below Deck and Grey's Anatomy. Those are the two shows that are not allowed to be on when I'm in the fucking living room. It makes me dumber just by watching it. Holy fucking shit. And the captain, the bitch that runs it, may as well be a dude. Ay. Anyway, go ahead.
So true. I was watching the show, and so on one of the seasons, there was a girl who was new to the ship. There were two guys. Ashton, the main guy, you probably know of him, obviously. He's a cocky, good-looking guy.
Yes, and an alcoholic.
Typical Chad. And that's it.
Yep.
And then you had another guy who was a really sweet dude. I can't remember his name, but he was such a kind dude, man. I mean, he was just nice, like a really nice person. And so when this girl came on the ship, everybody was hitting on her and everybody wanted her and everything like that. And so the kind dude initially took a friendship with her, and you would have thought this chick fell in love with him. I mean, he was playing ukulele to her. They were chilling on the beach when they went to go dock in ports. They were having great conversation, learning about each other's family backgrounds and things like that, while Ashton's in the background dancing, twerking in front of her, just doing all kinds of stuff. And she would go off on him. Oh, she's such a jerk. He's so this. I can't stand Ashton. Like, how can we get him fired? Like, all kinds of stuff. And I was like, man, she really doesn't like this dude. Not even 3 weeks later, they're showing them and her and Ashton, the jerk, in bed together,
Of course.
making love, smashing it out, while the dude is playing ukulele, crying his eyes out, the nice guy, crying his eyes out, confused, and has no idea what was happening. And it was really one of the first times I completely was like, wow, this is so true.
This is red pill
Everything
shit.
really made sense. So,
Donovan, you want to go first or shall I?
So the moral of the story is do not play ukuleles for women. Thanks for calling area code 62. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, the moral of the story is this. Even on TV, they try to tell you this. See, the thing that's great about being a man is that I have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and I can be honest with a woman and not care. I'm not trying to be her friend. I don't care where she went to college. I don't want to know what her last boyfriend is, and I don't even give a fuck about what she's looking for in a relationship. Those are the things that steer you wrong. If you never get a woman to like you, those are the things that guy with the ukulele was doing, Donovan. He was getting her to like, and guess what? She liked him, gay best friend, a little brother to her, the shoulder to cry on guy. But the asshole in the background, he didn't, notice, I guess in the show, he didn't take her out to dinner. He didn't play no ukulele. Only thing ukulele he was playing was that ass when he was smashing it, Donovan.
That's all there is to it, man. I've watched a few episodes of Below Deck, and it took me like I'll be sitting there, pardon me, I'll be sitting there preparing for the show or doing notes or screwing around on my iPad, and Devin will have that stuff, and I'm like, dude, don't play that stuff while I'm in the same room. It's funny. She gets a kick out of it. Let's go to area code 404. You're on live with Donovan and Dean. Go ahead.
Yeah, shout out Donovan. I just wanted to call and say thanks for holding the show. It's a great show.
Absolutely.
You actually answered the original question that led me to the red pill a few months ago, so I just want to say thank you for that.
Okay.
But I really wanted to hit on something Steve said. He said something like, if you're impressive enough, you don't need to worry about her being on her phone. And I've been trying to apply this to a past relationship. And one thing that I realized was, like, during the honeymoon stage, during the first few months, I realized I didn't really need to set boundaries because she sort of respected my time enough to never be late, withhold sex, any of that. But I don't know, something about the 3-month mark, the shit test came and the cookie crumbled, and I never set the boundaries. And I mean, that's what I'm now learning about right now. So, boundaries.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, young man, and I totally understand what you're saying. And the thing that a lot of guys have to understand, you got to be king 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, and even on Sunday. And you'll never know when she's going to test your boundary. You never know. Like you said, it could be after the honeymoon phase is over. And the most important phase for a man is the first fight you get into, the first disagreement, because that's going to set the stage of where you're going to go. And you said the cookie crumbled because I guess when she tested you, you didn't check her at the door or tell her to get the move on when she did that. Donovan?
Yeah, I think what he's talking about, it's red pill 101, man. And setting boundaries, especially from the start, setting boundaries sets the tone. If you don't set that, what you guys have to understand is that in the beginning of you fucking a girl, of a relationship, whatever the case may be, everything is great. Everything is new. The sex is great. You've got the blinders on. You're not really, you're sort of sleepwalking. You're letting certain things slide because you guys really like each other. You can't see anything wrong with each other. This is the time when women are testing your boundaries, whether they know it or not. They're doing shit that you wouldn't normally be okay with. But the reason why you're not checking her is because you don't want the good thing to end. oh, we're having such a great time. I don't want to mess up the good vibe with me telling her, hey, don't be on the phone with your fucking ex when you're in my presence. Well, what you don't understand is that by setting boundaries early and often, that's what keeps girls hot for you, man. This is what keeps them coming back for more. I got a quick story for you guys about women withholding sex or trying to weaponize sex. I remember I was fucking this one girl from down in Indian Springs. And Indian Springs is south of Las Vegas. Hottest fucking city on the goddamn planet. Even hotter than Vegas. Anyway, for the first month or so, we were solid. The sex, I don't know. The sex was above average, but she was really hot, and she was actually kind of nice. She was actually a nice feminine girl. Probably an ugly duckling, because girls that look like this chick did aren't usually nice unless they were ugly as kids. Anyway, so I drove up there one night, and we're hanging out, and I come up behind her and grab her tits, bite her neck, let her know I'm trying to fuck. And this bitch has the gall to say to me, well, you haven't earned it yet. Now, she laughed when she said it, so I thought she was joking around, trying to be playful. So I put my hand down her panties, and she wrenches away and she says, no, I'm serious. You haven't earned it yet. So I was confused. I was like, are you serious? She says, I'm dead serious. She said, you can't just waltz in here and fuck me without whining me and dining me a little bit. She says, I'm a person, And I said to her, well, I ain't the whining and dining type. And she says to me, well, then I guess you're not getting laid tonight. And I said to her, and I quote, I said, and I walked right out the door. You see, what this girl didn't know was that she was the side chick. I had a girlfriend at the time. So the fact that she tried to pull this bullshit on me didn't faze me not one bit. That's the power of abundance, gentlemen. So anyway, girls. I keep hearing.
Yeah, that's me. I'm trying to mute it. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Anyway, girls try to do this all the time, right? They give up the pussy in the beginning and then try to take it away to take control of you. Now, the average man would have fallen for this girl's bullshit, and I think her name was Luce. And no, not Luce. Like her name was. I think her name was Luce Mendoza. She was Mexican, and just like in Spanish, the Z is an S. Her name was Luce Mendoza or something like that. Anyway, just like every other girl out there who overplays her hand with a man she knows could do without her, here's what she did. She's blown up my phone all the way home. Come back. I was kidding. Why are you being stupid? I'm sorry. We're not fucking around anymore. Blah, 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 blah. And no, I didn't turn around. And no, I didn't. I didn't respond. I put her dumbass on ice for a good 2 weeks. Texted her the week after that, and oh, it's a miracle. That straightened her ass out, and she was my side chick again for a little while. And guess how many times she turned me down for sex after that? You guys can probably guess. Any other man, gentlemen, as hot as this girl was, any other man would have stayed there and jumped through her hoops, and they would have lost all respect. They would have kept fucking her, right? But failing a shit test like that, that is the beginning of the end, guys. Okay?
Yeah.
5%ers, red pill guys, listen, we're not here for it. We expect the pussy every time, all the time. And if we don't get it, we bounce to the next chick on our roster. Girls who try to weaponize sex and try to withhold it to control men, here's where they fuck up. They try to do this with guys they actually like. It always fucks up their relationship, right? And once again, it's probably because one of their slutty friends told them to do it to gain control of the relationship. Stupid fucking bitches.
Well, you know what, Donovan, and the thing I want to say real quick is that the reason why they feel that they can hold it again, it goes back to you men out there not having enough options. A woman can tell based off of your behaviors, the way you text and the way you talk, she knows your story. So if she realizes that she doesn't have to put out, she's not going to do it because there's no return on the investment. But right. when she sees that you have other women, that's when she's going to go ahead and put out faster because she wants to be at the top. But Donovan, do we have any other? It's on you, Donovan.
No, I don't have any other callers, but David Gima, a really good comment here. He says, hey, Donovan, the 80-20 rule affects women as much as men because they value relationship more than sex. They can't and won't get commitment from the 20% of men. I say this all the time, guys. Sex means absolutely nothing to women.
No.
And the reason for this is because women can get sex literally all the time.
Yes.
It's not, listen, if you think because you're fucking a girl good that she's going to, no. sex isn't what keeps women after you. Yes, it's certainly a factor, right? But women can get sex anytime they want. It's the relationship that they want. And the women who stake out and strike out with the top 20% of men, it doesn't matter. They don't care one way or the other. They want that relationship. Sex is the precursor, gentlemen. Sex is status quo. If I'm not fucking you, I'm not hanging out with you.
Right. There's Donovan, that's what I'm saying. And then it goes back to that caller playing pool, that Metal guy going playing pool with the zebras and stuff. I there's no way. Listen, I want to know that other guy who was reading that Robert Greene book or whatever. The thing is that Donovan, I'm sure you feel the same. Well, I'll just speak for me. I'll let you speak for you, Donovan. But I don't want you guys to make it about sex with these women, because they know you're making it about sex. They know as soon as you look at them or say hi that you want to smash. But then what they're trying to determine is what separates you from all the other guys out there. Is it just sex you want? What do you want from me? And the thing is, Donovan, they're always going for the wrong pussy. They're always going for the one between their legs and don't understand the one between her ears is more important, because, Donovan, women don't think like us. And I think that's what a lot of guys think, Donovan. They want women to think like we think.
Yes.
That's not the truth.
Not the truth. Okay.
They are, like you said, they are driven by their emotions, what they feel, guys, not what we think. And that's some of the things I think guys need to understand. But I throw it to you, my brother.
All right. So the last boundary that we're going to talk about, the last type of behavior that you need to stamp out, the last kind of behavior you need to set boundaries on, is delayed texting. And oh, by the way, everything that I'm talking about here, everything I'm talking about in this episode is found in my 7-hour course, How to Build a Quality Woman from the Ground Up. It is 7 hours, rock solid intel, how to build a female into a quality woman from the ground up. What I'm talking about here is a portion of, I think it's either chapter 2 or chapter 3, setting boundaries. Delayed texting. And by delayed texting, I mean texting a girl who doesn't return your text for hours or sometimes even the next day. Now, this one could be a little tricky, because guys probably think, well, if she's at work and she's not allowed to have her phone, or what if she's really busy or she's doing something and can't get to her phone? And to that, I would say, you're looking for an excuse not to set the boundary. That boundary, of course, being, if you take forever to text me, I'm not going to give you the attention that you want. Here's the thing, guys. Girls are always on their phones. They're on their phones even when they're told not to have their phones out. They're on their phones at church. They're on their phones at school. They're on their phones at fucking funeral. They're even on their phones when the flight attendant tells them to put their phone in airplane mode and you're cruising down the runway at 200 miles an hour about to take off. Bitches still on their fucking phones. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Girls will always be on their phones. The reason this is significant is because there is no excuse for a girl not to text you back within a reasonable amount of time. Now, I'm not going to sit here and quantify it by saying that she should text you back in 5 minutes or less, 3 minutes or less, because again, every girl in every situation is different. The way you handle delayed texting is nonverbal. You can't say out loud, well, if you don't text me back in 10 minutes, I'm going to do the same to you. That's fucking ridiculous. No. The correct way to handle this is to return the favor, but do it twofold. That is, if she takes an hour to text back, wait 2 hours and maybe an extra 15 minutes to text back. If she waits till the next morning to text back, don't respond until the following night. If she takes 30 minutes to text back, you wait 47 minutes to return the text. You get the idea. The boundary you're setting here is that if you want my attention, you've got to work for it. You're not going to text me twice a day and then expect me to blow up your phone with 24 text messages. When you give a woman something she doesn't earn or something she's obviously not interested in working for, you take it away and you make her work harder for it. And here's another thing. If she's not texting you back immediately, maybe she doesn't like you as much as you think she does. Right? Listen, the guy she texts the most, and the playing pool guy, actually, it was another guy who said this. A guy who was in Chicago doing his thing and, said, hey, listen, I know you're fucking other girls, fucking other women. The guy she texts the most is the guy she wants the most. And if that's you, it will be very obvious. Okay? If you're the plan A, she'll be texting you nonstop all the time. That's when you know you're her number one, because a girl can only text so many guys at one time. However, if she really likes you, but isn't texting you as much or isn't responding that quickly, she's taking advice from her slutty friends who are telling her to play hard to get. Fuck that noise, guys. If she plays games, you play fucking games. Wait twice as long to text her back. And if she doesn't like you that much, okay, she'll end up fading out, which is good for you because you're not wasting time on a girl who's just using you for validation. If she does like you, she'll start to increase the frequency of her texts and decrease her response time. Either way you slice it, it's a win-win. You're either getting a girl who really likes you to start responding, or you're not wasting time with a girl who doesn't. If you don't nip delayed texting in the bud, gentlemen, when you see it happening, you are headed to the friend zone for sure. And even if you aren't, you're allowing her to create a margin to cheat later. That's for another day and time. If you let her get away with delayed texting now, she'll do it later. But during her 2 to 3 hour text blackouts, okay, she's not looking at her phone waiting to see if you'll text her, telling her how beautiful she is or how much you miss her. No. She's getting butt fucked by Kevin and Sales because you let her get away with these absences in the beginning. She doesn't have to create the margin, guys. You facilitated it. Dude, nip this behavior in the bud, because if you don't, it will bite you in the ass. Your thoughts, Steve?
Okay, what I want to do is I'm gonna go across the street and I'm explaining to them the why behind why they do what they do. Now, what's very important for you guys to understand is you guys, and the thing that I always try to get you men to do is take a look in the mirror and be honest with yourselves on some things. The first thing that you need to understand this, and this is the honest truth, guys, when she meets you, if she doesn't ask you or acknowledge that you're a ladies' man, if she doesn't ask you if you've seen anybody or how many women you're seeing, you're going to fall right into what Donovan's talking about. But I'm going to tell you why you're going to fall into that and why you got to do what Donovan's telling you. The reason is because for a lot of you guys, the way you think is the same way you talk on the phone, and is the same way you text, is the same way you date. And if you're lucky enough to get over your house, it's going to be the same thing in the bedroom. The way you are outside the bedroom is the same way she sees you in the bedroom. So the reason that, because Donovan, here's the thing, you're right about what you're saying, but why do they do that? And the reason why is because if you're sending her boring ass text messages, what are you doing? How was your day? Tell me about this, and how was work? And what reason would she have to text you if you're not the last thing she thinks about when she goes to bed and the first thing she thinks about in the morning? Then the problem is you, gentlemen. But you got it. But Donovan, here's the thing. A lot of guys get in that situation that you're talking about right there, but they never ask themselves, why isn't she texting me right off the back? Because Donovan, you're right. They have their phones glued to their hand. Donovan is 1,000,000% right. They can't go and do anything without having their phone to them. But the question is why are the texts spaced out with you, but not with a real man? See, what y'all don't understand, the guy that has that gifted gab and can spit that yak, is that guy that is going to get bombarded with messages. Don't think you're the only guy. You're not. We can agree on that. But what's happening with women that y'all got to understand is she's going through, look, she's got to text Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike Donovan.
I was stupid.
Right. She got
oh my God.
Right. But at the end,
shit. Listen, if she's texting Ricky, Johnny, Bobby, and Mike, it's a wrap, bro. Like,
right. Yeah, but
I mean, if you stand the rain, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying to y'all guys,
listen, we're giving away our age now.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I know we're giving away our ages. What I'm saying to y'all guys is this: what they're going to do is they're going to take all the guys, and it's going to be a line of interesting
90 seconds.
So if you're more interesting, believe me, not only will you get texts, you'll get selfies without asking.
That's right.
She'll want to go on video without asking. But for a lot of you guys, Donovan is right. If she takes 30 seconds to 30 minutes, stretch it out. Absolutely. But you gotta but while you're doing that, it's important to ask yourself, why is it taking 30 minutes? Why is it taking an hour? Why is it taking 2 hours? And maybe it's the fact that when you reply or talk to her that you're boring. Women don't like boring. They don't like libraries. They like roller coaster rides. Donovan, what's your take on that, brother?
Listen, I totally agree, man. If she's not in her emotions, then she's not into you. That's just how that goes.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of the Red Line. This is actually a very good show. Listen, an hour and 49 minutes.
Wow, no, great.
Flew by. Yeah, flew by. We took a shitload of calls. I think this was a very, very good show. Be sure to join us tomorrow on the Red Man Group. That's going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. That's let me do some math here. 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific. Not
10 seconds.
Mathematician out there. Pardon me. I'm told that Anthony's trying to get together a bunch of dudes. Like I think this is probably going to be I don't know, probably like 8 people on the panel. I don't know if that's too many or not, but we'll let Anthony make the call. But yeah, so just be sure to join us tomorrow. This was a lot of fun. Steve, any last words before we get about?
Yeah, just real quick. This is being brought to you by Tactical Soap, guys. Make sure y'all check out Tactical Soap. Also being brought to you by Tate's War Room. And last but not least, Maternity of Excellence. Join the online brotherhood of exceptional men. But guys, like I say, we will definitely we appreciate all the calls and everything. And I think y'all guys got to understand. We want you guys to succeed. This is not us trying to make you look bad or making you feel less. We want to show you that the world out there is not sunshine and rainbows. And as long as you're doing what you're doing, we're here to correct the behavior. We're not here to nag or bitch at you, but we want to correct the certain things that you're doing so you can move on in your red pill life. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, listen, David Kabagema actually makes another very interesting comment here before he goes. He says, Donovan, I know that women are driven by emotions, pardon me, but only the ones with a bit of reason end up with high-value men. This is why we have an epidemic of single mothers and unwed, childless women. No, I disagree, David.
That's not true.
No, that's not true. Women are driven by emotions, but the only time, women are driven by their emotions, but that doesn't mean they're incapable of reason and rationale. And I'll tell you why. Women, when they're young and hot and at peak sexual fertility, they can afford to have their decisions driven by emotions. This is why they make bad decisions with very bad men. After they hit the wall and they realize, holy shit, I'm running out of time, then their pragmatism and reason and rationale starts to kick in. Again, women are capable of being reasonable and rational, but their circumstance dictates that. In America, their circumstance dictates that. I guess in other Western countries. Now, back in the day, women had to exercise reason and rationale because if they got knocked up at 19, 20 years old, they were ostracized. Men wouldn't go near them with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
But these days, we got single moms out here with 3-4 kids by 3-4 different guys. And guys are still giving that attention. Guys are still giving them that commitment. So they can, at that point, they feel like they can still afford to make decisions with men based on emotion. So no, I disagree. Women are only driven by reason. Women are driven by emotion when they have time. They're driven by reason when they run out of time. What are your thoughts on that before we go?
Oh yeah, real quick, I want to say, yeah, David, you're totally wrong on this one, man. What you're doing is, it seems like you're trying to make an excuse to call you, try to make it as high value men or something that women rarely get to be with. That's totally wrong. Oh wait, go put the comment back up as I was reading the comment that the statement maybe could, Donovan. Right, thank you. But yeah, you're totally off on this. What you got to understand with a lot of women out there, and it's the truth. A lot of women don't take accountability or responsibility for their actions, okay? And one thing I tell you, and I'm sure Donovan does, you guys have got to wrap up. You can't trust that she's going to take her pills on time or whatever. So there's a lot of immature men getting a lot of these women pregnant, but that's not the reason. That what you said right here is that they end up they say but the ones with a bit of reason end up with high value men. Let me tell you guys something, and I want y'all to smoke this in your pipe.
Thank you for using blog.
A lot of you guys, you're gonna date women, you're gonna marry women, you're gonna be engaged with women, and you're gonna live with women. But at the end of the day, if you're not giving them the drug of MAN, you better hope to whoever you pray to at night that she doesn't run into a real man. That's the difference. You will find a relationship. But just because you put a ring on her finger doesn't mean she's loyal to you, because what do you have for her to be loyal to if you're acting like she's acting? That's what y'all got to think about. If y'all got some tight pussies, she's going to look for a man regardless of what you're doing. Donovan, what you got on that before we go?
Listen, I mean, what David said was true to an extent. It's just that the timing was off. Women exercise good judgment and reason and rationale when they have to, but when they don't have to, their decisions are driven strictly by emotion and their impulsiveness. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this show. We will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the Redman Group. You guys take care.
Take care, guys.
Peace.